Hi, and welcome to another tag video. I am recording this kind of early because I'm going to be gone on vacation and I want to make sure I have some stuff ready to go. So some of these may not be true when the video actually comes out, as far as like the last book you bought and that kind of stuff. But it's true for today when I'm filming. I'm going to be doing the rapid fire tag, part 1. I got this from Kate at the Literary Apothecary. I thought that it was a cute tag video, so I decided I wanted to do it. So it's going to be rapid fire. We're going to go quickly. I'm going to look right over here where I have the questions written, and I'm going to move first over here where I have room to put books because, I don't have a lot of physical books. I just have my new bookshelf over there, and that's it. So let's go. Hardback or paperback? I don't care. I'll read anything. Ebook or physical? I will read anything. However, I do like it on ebook more just because I feel like I can take it anywhere. If I have my phone with me, I always have my book with me. So I can sit down in the living room with my iPad or in the bed and with my Kindle and be wherever I want to be. And then the next day when I'm out and about in town, I always have the book right where I was, ready to go, and I can just keep reading. So I do prefer ebook over physical for the ease of reading. But if we're talking about how they look, of course I like a physical book more than an ebook. And you can't sniff an ebook. Well, you can, but you look weird. Okay, secondhand or new. I will do either one. I'm not sniffing secondhand books, but I don't mind them. They're fine with me. Number 4, audiobooks or not? Audiobooks, for sure, all the way. That's how I learn the best anyway. I am a auditory learner, and so audiobooks are the best. Number 5, do you cover buy? Yes. As a matter of fact, the bookshop of yesterday's right here, I only read it because I saw the cover, and I was like, oh, books. So I bought it. I really liked it, by the way. Favorite cover that you own? This is going to be easy. I mean, this might be a cop-out. I don't have a lot of pretty covers on books, but I'm going to say this one just because, let me hold it up here. The colors on it are so pretty to me. I just like everything about it. I just like the night sky and the letters. I know nothing about this book. I haven't read it yet, but I love the colors on it. It doesn't even do it justice looking at it on this screen. All the stars up here in the sky, you just can't see them as well through the camera, but I really like this cover. I've been showing it to my whole family, and I've already talked about it once in another video. I really like it. So apparently that's my favorite cover that I own. The least favorite cover that you own, I'm going to go with this. This is The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. It's not necessarily that it's a least favorite cover, but I do not like dust jackets on books. Maybe we should go back to number 1, and I should say I prefer paperback over hardback because I always take them off. As you can see, this is not on the book. The book is over there on that shelf without it on there because I don't like them on there. If I were collecting that would be fine. If I was collecting a book, I could put it up on my shelf with a beautiful dust cover on it and be like, oh, this is great. I don't like them if I'm trying to actually read the book. So maybe I don't like hardback as much as I like paperback. Anyway, number 8, first book you ever read. I'm going to say the first book I remember reading. I'm pretty sure that in kindergarten and first grade, I read whatever those little primer books were that you had to read. But unless somebody was making me read, I never read. And by making me read, I mean literally making me read out loud to them. Because if you assigned me a book to read in junior high or middle school or high school, I didn't read that. I didn't read that book. I can just go ahead and tell you right now I didn't read it. So even the first couple of years of college, if you assigned me a book to read, I didn't read it. However, I remember the first book that I ever read was An American Tragedy. I was a senior in college taking an American lit class. I was also that same year taking an African American lit class, and I read every book that was assigned to me in both of those classes. I have no idea what changed in my brain when I decided, why don't I just read these books? Like, I feel like I was putting more effort into not reading the books and trying to still figure out what they were about enough to write a paper about them or to pass a test about them than I would have taken had I just read the book. Like, it was harder to do all of that stuff instead of just reading the dang book. And so I feel like it was probably because I'm super stubborn, and the fact that somebody was telling me what I had to do, I was saying, no, I don't. So anyway, I read An American Tragedy. I loved it so much. Like, it's been, 20 years since I did that. Like, I'm super old. And so I graduated college in 2000. So it's been a while. And that means that I read that book in 99. And I might want to reread it. I never reread books, but I might want to reread that. I'm going to save it and just think about it. It's a really long book, and I barely remember anything about it except that I absolutely loved it. So we'll see. I'm not reading these as fast as I should be. Sorry. Number 9, the last book you read. The last book I read was... What was the last book I read? Oh, the last book I read was a graphic novel called Monstrous. Volume 1. Okay. The last series that you read. The last series that I finished would have been the Mistborn series, Era 1. I finished The Hero of Ages in June, and I have not finished a series since then. I have not finished a series since then. I really liked it. I thought that it was good. The last book you bought, I'm going to reach back over here and say The Talisman is the last book that I bought. What's your favorite genre? 2 years ago would have been romance, no question, but subgenres of romance were all over the board, except for historical. I do not like historical romance, Regency romance, whatever it's called. I don't like that. Fantasy probably was my go-to subgenre under romance, but almost anything nonfiction. Now, a year and a half to 2 years later, my favorite genre, I'm gonna say that it is sci-fi fantasy, dystopian. Like, I'm gonna just get very narrow and say right now that is maybe my favorite genre. Now, I've probably only read 4 books that fit that category, but I am wide open for any suggestions that you have. So send them to me. We're just gonna say I like all genres of books, and I don't know that I can pick a favorite. If we're going with my very narrow favorite genre that I just said, then I'm picking The Stand as my favorite sci-fi fantasy dystopian subgenre, The Stand. I just finished it in July. Absolutely loved it. Favorite. What genre do you never reach for? Well, I could say historical romance. I don't. Even if I see somebody like saying, "Oh, this is a really good book," I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Like, I would say historical fiction, but I read more historical fiction than I think I do. I just sometimes get tired of most of the historical fiction books being centered around World War II. Not that that's a bad thing, except I would like to read different historical fiction books. So, I don't know. I'm going to say historical romance specifically. I avoid. 15. Do you read poetry? I don't consistently read poetry. I don't avoid poetry. And I do like novels in verse, which kind of is poetry. So, I guess kind of. Do I read popular science? No, I don't think that I do. I'm not even really sure what that is, but I don't read nonfiction science. And so I don't think that I read popular science. Do I read middle grade? Well, if it's Christopher Paul Curtis, I read middle grade. I do read quite a bit of middle grade. Middle grade is targeted to 11 to 13-year-olds, somewhere around in there, 10 to 13-year-olds. I find some of those books to be, well, number one, I find them to be really quick reads, but I also find it to be an easy way for authors to get a point across without like beating us to death. And also they don't have to throw in the teen angst that you sometimes get in YA. That's the thing I hate the most about YA books, is that everybody's angsty. but at the same time, it's easier to throw in magical things in middle grade books. I like middle grade. My favorite bookish item, I don't think that I have one unless we're saying glasses to be able to see them really well. Otherwise, I don't think I have a bookish item. So, current bookmark. It's this. This came from Books on 7th Ave. I ordered a thing off of eBay from them, just a collection. You can just order like random books from them. You could say historical fiction books on eBay, and they'll send you like 20 historical fiction books. Well, I wanted to go back to my roots, and so a couple of months ago, I ordered a lot of 20 paranormal romance books, and that I've had them here for a couple of months, and I have not read one of them, which is one reason why I feel like that's not my favorite genre anymore. What is the strangest thing you've used as a bookmark? I will use anything. For the longest time, this random card right here that had a couple of book suggestions on it, I was using as a bookmark. I will use anything I can find as a bookmark. I do not dog my pages. I don't care if you do, but I don't do it. And sometimes when I have to get up, I'll flip my book over, but I don't like to break the spines either if I can help it. Sometimes I don't care. If it's a book that I know I'm keeping, I super don't care. But if I feel like I'm going to pass this on to somebody else, I just try to treat it a little bit better probably than I would my own books. So that's it, or that's at least part one. Like I said, I am just copying what Kate did because she's my captain from Team Aphrodite. And so I just do whatever she does. So I hope that you liked those really quick questions. I have a puppy that is really trying to get me to feed him, so I'm going to go do that. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.